This is ACOFAE. Laura Marie and Jessica Marie proudly present A Court of Fandoms and Exploration, a podcast. Fair warning, everything the hosts say is explicit, full of spoilers and adult content, and shall not be used against them. They have opinions. Let's try not to drag anyone for expressing themselves and just have fun for an hour. We all deserve it.
This episode contains spoilers from A Court of Silver Flames, with brief mentions of The Cruel Prince and non-spoiler Crescent City reference. There are also discussions surrounding racism and war.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to A Court of Fandoms and Exploration, your weekly deep dive into the YA literature and fandoms that we love. I'm Laura Marie.
And I'm Jessica Marie.
And today we are discussing, this is, I'm very excited. I would say book 5. This is The Demon Tide by Lori Forrest, and this is the latest release in her Black Witch Chronicles. And this was an arc that we received, and we really loved it. But of course, we have our things to say.
And I mean, we're just lucky that we got the arc and we love it. So this is just, we're so excited. It's heavy. But like with all things, of course it is. It's the series.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So thank you. Who's involved in this arc?
So Inkyard Press is who so thank you to Inkyard Press. And then of course, Lori Forrest, who gave us this world of Erthia. And thank God there's a map, because the way I kept that map up while I was reading.
The map is really, really important here. Oh my gosh. I want to say right off the bat that this book is thick. The page count that I had was like over 600. It was like
668 was my page count. And I looked at I looked at it from like the one device, and then like from like the two different platforms that I was going back and forth on, because I was showing you, Laura, of the formatting issues that I was having with my Kindle. But it was saying, and the Demon Tide. And I go, oh, they said the thing. They did not say the thing in those moments. It was just the header was in between my paragraphs. And it was just a me thing, because Laura's was absolutely fine.
I had no problem, but that is hilarious.
I had to show you pictures. Yeah. I go, and there was another line. It was just like, I'm Lori Forrest. And I go, wait. What? That's not self-inserting into the plot. This doesn't. So there was some back and forth, but it was 668 on both things.
So this is a really thick book. I needed to adjust my expectations about like a third of the way through this, because it became clear to me that this was not going to be the battle. And I knew this in the back of my head, because obviously the title of the next book is like released. It's the Battle for Erthia. So like obviously, but in my excitement in reading this, I was like, this is it. This is going to be it. It's all happening. So once I realized that this is a plot movement book, I would equate this to Two Towers in the Lord of the Rings movie series. It is the plot movement book. You got to get the trees. Just like in that movie, got to get the trees. Trees got to get where they need to be. So that once I adjusted my expectations to fit that narrative, not only did I enjoy this, but Jess, I told you, spent all freaking day today rereading this book. It took me.
I don't know how you did it, because it took me. Realistically, it took me 3 days, like 2.5 days to finish this, because you kept saying, Jess, start it. She thick, start it. And when I tried to start it, I could say this now by the time the release came out, the big Sky and Breath spoiler fucking came out, and I could not focus. And then the next day I tried again, and I want to say I was distracted, because I feel like you should do some sort of recap, whether it's listening to our episodes or do a reread of the series, because there were a lot of people where I go, what? Huh? Do I remember this person? Because they either everybody comes back, and or there are new people. So you don't remember, at least for me, was this a new person or did I forget? And then I would keep remembering little things. Oh, that's right. That's this. Oh, okay. Why do I know this name? So it took me a little while to get into the groove. But then once I was in, 2.5 days for a 700-page book. I know some people can kill that in a day. Clearly, Laura is one of them. I am not. So
I'm not saying what I did was good or like healthy or like I support this. No, I just needed to get a better grasp of the main like plot points here because there's so much that happens, and I just wanted to make sure, like in the little Rolodex in my head, that I knew like everything that was happening in like the order that it was happening, and then to try to make some, connections. And
did you? It's such like some of the stuff that was heavy. The stuff that was exciting and exhilarating, and oh my god, this is happening again. Like, did you find yourself like out of breath? Like as there are parts in the book that as the scene is picking up, you're reading faster and everything, like trying to get more of that information and finding out what's happening.
Yeah, so that is, you had your formatting issues. Here's mine. I was reading on my giant iPad that I have that is old, and my thumbs sit on like the scroll lines because it's so big, even when, there's nothing to be done. So I was excited and my hands, and I, and all of a sudden I'd be back at like the top of the page, or like back at, and I'd be like, fuck, and I have to like go back. And, like, so it was like, yeah, where I was like, oh fuck, this whole time it was just like killing my vibe. So I cannot wait until this, I can reread this with the audio. Mm-hmm. I am just so stoked for that because Julia Whalen, obviously goddess, but her grasp of the story and pronunciation and like rhythm really helped me here. And I really am excited for her performance of all of these characters, but especially for Elloren. Like
Elloren's doing the damn fucking thing.
They're all doing the damn. They all are.
They all are. Yes. And I love when every time, like, because this is a plot driven book. It is plot with romance. If you've been following it, I know everyone's like team Yvonne, team Lucas. Like it's still like,
it's still both. Team both.
Yeah. Team both. Team Erthia. Like, get your shit together. Like, we have bigger shit at play. That's what I want to say.
It really is. And this is like hats off to Miss Laurie Forrest. It's like she was listening and heard us say, like, we really love when characters focus on the bigger picture, because the bigger picture is all that anyone is dealing with here. And it is so, I'm going to say groundbreaking, just because you don't see it very often. You see the love triangle take over the politics. And here it is just like, nah, fuck this. We have a war.
But but again, with every single character, you have Letitia with Jules and, the thing happens and she goes, deflower me later. We got shit to do. And he goes, that's my girl. Like, then you have it again with Tierney and Fjorden and Vigor. And she goes, really? We have all this shit going on and this is what you're worrying about? Your whole pissing match? Or even when it's just her and him on one-on-one. She goes, you're telling me that you hate all my friends and now all of a sudden you want me to excuse you? And then obviously the Elloren, Lucas, Yvonne of it all. I mean, every single... Sparrow and Theron, they're doing this. Tristan and Bob, like every single person. They're like, even Ormeyer is like walking through the festival, and he goes, "Really?" Like he's talking to himself. He goes, "You're so concerned with people making out, like bigger shit. Help your cousin."
It's so fantastic. Okay, so let's dive into this plot. Tristan's plot takes up a majority of this book. A majority of it is Tristan and what are we saying? Both Voth?
Both Voth. I've been pronouncing it Voth in my head.
So it is their kind of like joint perspectives that really kind of carry the main kind of plot here. And then everybody else, and then they all join up and then they separate again. Tristan, I read all of his stuff with just this like simmering like rage, just rage at the way that like I felt so bad for him, but also like I understood where everybody else was coming from. And like, but after a while, it's just like, enough already. Like stop. You have got to work together. And oh my God. Tristan is just such a really, really lovely, like, transformation, but also, I'm going to say Voth. So Voth has his own, like, really significant journey of, like, he has to guard Tristan, and then he starts to fall in love with Tristan, and then he starts to see that, like, not only was his prejudice against Tristan, like, totally wrong, and, like, not, like, just really bad, but he starts to see the way that everybody else treats him, and it's like eye-opening for him, and he's from like a high political family, like his family's like the regent or whatever, and it's just this really powerful kind of like love story that's happening there, and you know, Voth is like, I want to court you, and then, you know, Tristan has his transformation with his hair and everything, and the thing that stands out to me with Tristan is how like horrifically he was treated by the Wivengard, like high officers, and then how at the like towards the end they say like, you have family here, here's all of your wages, now you can go out, like you are a true citizen of like Neuland, like now you are accepted. That happens at the highest ranking of the military, and he is still not accepted. It is just like so powerful. Oh Tristan.
We love Tristan. There was a scene, I mean, this isn't related to like there's a part where, you know, there is a culture shock for him. Obviously, he's coming from one place that he is hated for who he is as a person, and now he's going to this other place where he's still hated for who he is as a person. So then like, and there's, you have the culture shock of like him watching Voth make out with Basil, and then like you have Voth just like making out and like checking him out the entire, I mean, that was a whole Jude Carden thing going on. I was like,
that's a power play. Like,
but how do you not feel bad? And how do you not have trauma? And then he's still constantly proving himself. And then before, you know, the romance even started with Voth, even though, you know, the chemistry was always there. There was that part where he's, you know, just Voth is in denial for his feelings for this person, that Voth knows. He goes, he has that empath where he can sense when people are telling the truth. He knows that Tristan's been truthful this whole time, and his whole passion for fighting for the Eastern Realm, and he's in denial, and it hurts Tristan through the whole thing. And then when he finally starts coming around and like being more vocal in his defense of Tristan, you know, he's still getting ostracized. And even Ormeyer's like, oh yeah, that's never stopped, you know, ooh, forbidden love, I'm so scared. That's always helped. It was the comedic relief that everybody needed in that moment.
So, okay, we have Tristan, we have Voth.
Everybody feels like they came back.
Tierney is there, and then we have Viger and Fjorden and Jared. You get Jared and Diana. We haven't seen them in so long.
We haven't seen them in a few books because they weren't in the Shadow Wand at all.
Right. And Rafe and Aislinn. Who else? Sage.
I have like, I started making a list. I stopped at some point. And then like, there were people who I was like, wait, is this a new person? Is this not? So we have Winter, Freya, Queen Alkaya, Fallon, fuck her. Tristan, Voth is new. Oh, I put Winter twice. Her brother, Kale, and his second in command, Reese. We have Fane and River, who you wouldn't know unless you read the novellas. And what do you say? If the author wrote it, you should read it. Naga, the Broken is back. The Unbroken is back. Rafe, Deanna, Jared, Aislinn, Sage. Sage's baby daddy.
Mm-hmm. Raven.
Okay, Raven. O'Lily, Tierney, Ormeyer's new. Sparrow and Effrey. Morley's new. Theon, I didn't connect that he was a professor until she brought it back up in this book. I go, oh, here's a new character. And then she was like in denial that her professor was there. She's like, this is really awkward. Those are
my
just
gosh.
like some of the people that I was like, wait, I can't keep track.
There are so many characters. It is so fantastic. There are a lot of themes here. I want to talk about Vogel. Let's talk about Vogel. Let's talk about how one man's mommy issues have brought about the destruction of the earth.
Where do you like? Okay, where do you start? That's where you start. And, Vogel is just so. I was trying to think of like what's the worst name that you can call a man, and I couldn't think of it. I was like, a man, but I don't really think that. That would be the type of person that Vogel is, and the worst part about this is that I feel like people can read this and be like, oh my gosh, that's so extreme, blah blah blah. But it's not extreme. It is extreme, but like it's not unrealistic.
And oh my God. Okay, so Vogel, what does Vogel do? Vogel is he is trying to an ends justifies the means situation here. He has in the preface.
Right.
The preface. I was like, the prequel. No, that's not the word. What is it? It's the preface. In the preface, we get him we get Vogel with like, did you get it? They're like all male and there's no spirits on the boat and they are holy and united in their like glorious purpose or whatever. It's just like, gah. But they get there and the Death Fae is on this dead continent and he's like, here are all my journals. Like, don't let this ever happen again. Like, you're Dryad. Like, please don't do this.
I sensed your Dryad. Oh, I forgot all about the Dryad. I sensed your Dryad infinity. Now the end even makes more sense. Okay, continue.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. So he's like, you're Dryads. You're here to take it and hide it before it comes, and Vogel's like, we're not fucking Dryads. Like, we're holy mages or whatever. And he just like, and takes it. So, and then the wand like senses Vogel's weakness and like starts to really get in there with the gray like shadow and we know, and then that's how Vogel like gets it all. So Vogel's really twisted mommy issues kind of accumulate into purifying Elloren. Says like, they've turned you into a staining whore. Like, did he force his Icaro kiss on you? Like, no, the vessel can be purified. Like, the holy vessel can be purified. So like, you will be purified, and through your purification, so will I be pure. Like, this is like an ends justify the means. I'm going to do all this evil stuff, but in the end, it will be like better. It's
only better in his head. And then he has like his fanatics like Alaric, who is like, I won't tell anybody. It will only be us two who know about the demon. They're calling him the demon fae with the death fae. Like, no, I won't even. Like, he has just like this fanatic who is and he's also not wand fasted. So he's like, I will be a priesthood just like Marcus Vogel. And you know that he's going to come back in the future books because we've never seen him again.
And then we know the Selkie saved him. So that's going to come, that'll come back. I mean, that's how we met Terran Stone.
I bet you it's the Selkie that they saved.
They saved, yeah. So do I, because we haven't seen Gareth. Gareth was mentioned several times, but he was not there in this book.
And Lori posted, like, she's been posting stuff on her Instagram feed, because she does like the aesthetic posts and stuff. And she said like something recently where it says because she's been doing aesthetics for the future book, the Battle of Erthia book, of Gareth and Marina.
That's awesome. See, I'm already stoked. Okay, so we're jumping all over. Sorry. But you know us. When Vogel takes over Elloren, I was sick to my stomach. I had this like gross ick feeling. And when he was like making her talk and like controlling her, oh my God.
I'm speechless. Because anything when he was like taking her fast lines from both Yvonne and Lucas and transferring it on to himself, saying, now we're sealed now, Elloren Vogel.
And the chapter titles changed.
Yeah, I hated that. I was sick to my stomach for her. And then when he's like, and we will be truly sealed. I was like, he literally gave up the priesthood to fuck Elloren. So disgust. Like, he's just like, it's the I'm speechless. I hate him. I can't stand him. He is evil reincarnated.
He absolutely is. And he is scary. He's a scary villain because he believes that he's right. And like his like heart of black hearts and his core of cores, he thinks that what he's doing is right. And he like saw it on a dream or some bullshit. So, and it's like calling to him. Like, those people are terrifying. And like that's our main villain. And he has like galvanized this whole following to go like and murder everybody. That's
the terrifying part, is that not only does he believe it to his core, he has taught other people to believe that to their core as well.
Yeah. Oh my God. It is terrifying. The bigger picture here, I do want to talk about Elloren, because I want to talk about Elloren's growth. We're introduced to Elloren, like, and it's like right away, right? It's like cut when she's in this book, her chapters. It's like right where we left her.
Oh, right. Because the first 5 chapters, she's not in any of them.
Right.
It's Lucas' perspective. It's Tristan. It's Thoth. It's but like side character. I say side characters loosely because I feel like so many of the characters, and we spoke about this in the first book for the Black Witch, even though we know Elloren's the MC, it still feels like a lot of the characters are MCs in their own capacity too.
Especially Tristan, definitely in this book. But there were points in this book where Elloren is repeating things like, oh, Lucas would say do this. Lucas would say do this. And she's actively choosing to fight. Where before, and our frustrations with her before, where she was like crying all the time, right? Everything made her cry and she felt like weak and she couldn't fight. And now it's the exact opposite. She's fighting all the time. She hears Lucas telling her like, get up, break the thrall, like do the damn thing. And she's doing the damn thing. And even though literally everybody except her core group are out to get her, right? Like, everyone is trying to capture her and they all have their like intentions or whatever. But oh my gosh. And here's the thing. Vogel's disgusting obsession with like mage purity is echoed through every other group in this book.
And everybody is so closed-minded. And I say everybody in the term loosely. Obviously, we know that that's not the case. But a lot of the groups, they feel like they're in the right. Nobody is realizing that the war that is happening, and that, like, especially with the magedom coming over to the Eastern Realm, that they're trying to fight for, is happening internally amongst each other as well.
So we have Neuland for the Noi. The Amaz doesn't take men. And then
Garnerians for Erthia.
Yeah, Garnerians. Yeah, Erthia. Yeah.
You have the Alseeger. And like, or like there were points where Bledin, because Bledin comes back, and Elloren are talking, and there's a moment where they're saying like the Urisks and the Gardnerians are a lot similar than they realize, especially when they're talking about like patriarchy and everything. Like, oh yeah, like we didn't have that, either, between like the Sunjarut and the length of their skirts, having rights, like everything in between. They all have their own thing, or just like, oh, well, we don't want that group to infiltrate us, or who are we? If one person comes, they're all going to come. It's just
even the Dryads.
Well, you know about the Dryads and the Celts, and the Wyvern Guard don't even want anybody else, or they want to pick and choose who they want. Again, like they're just making allowances for some people and not the others. And well, Ormire, yeah, he's a gardener, but at the same time, he's not.
He's purple. Yeah, he's like visibly purple, right. So it's different. Yeah. It is so fucking wild to me that the division is oh my God. So O'Lily is the one that kind of breaks this, right? Cause like the attack happens. We'll get to this. The attack happens and O'Lily is trying to like bring everybody in and she's like, and she's bringing in the people from the restaurant across the street. The one that says Noiland for the Noi. She's bringing them in to Moira, you know, all of that. And she's like, don't you see that this was what we were running from the whole time? Is it real enough for you now that's in front of your fucking face? None of this shit matters. I mean, she's a child. She's not saying this, but like, none of this shit matters. Like, enough already. And it's like, yeah, Lily, you're like 10. Like, fuck yeah. You tell that crusty white man to go fuck himself. It was really good. It was like this child standing up and be like, this is what we were running from. And instead of helping us, you closed your borders. And now we're all, and there was an expression that I saw not too long ago that I thought was really interesting. It said, you know, people that say like, we're all in the same boat. It's like, we're not. We're all in the same storm. The boat is different. So, like, we're all dealing with, like, the same thing, but the way that we're dealing with it,
Some people are on yachts and cruise ships, and others are literally on a raft.
Yeah, so it is really different. And in this, like, kind of situation, it's like, you know, now we're all the same. Now we're all fucked, pretty much.
Well, I mean, one of the lines that I really like is, again, with O'Lily and everybody, when people are finally starting to call each other out, the line is like, this isn't the time for division. Fragmentation is going to be the Eastern realm's downfall. And they're basically saying, yeah, the Western realm is coming in and encroaching on us and this, that, the other thing, but it's not, we're going to be, our internal struggles with each other are going to be the demise of us before the Western realm even gets there. Because you see it happening. And then Bloodin's even talking to Morally about it. She's like, here it goes, just like clockwork. This is the thing. And like, here we go again. And Bloodin says, like, my only religion is the children. Why are we having issues? What's the quote? To take because somebody was like borrowing. I can't remember who off the top of my head this very second, but they said that he was making medicine for those who can't afford it. Like he couldn't afford it when he was a child. You shouldn't have to be rich to get. You shouldn't have to be rich to get medicine. Yes, Ren. Yeah, Ren Fire, because that is Tesla's brother, who is all sickle in the camps. I remember. We remember him because we read Rebel Mages. Ren is married to Fane, and Fane was Tesla's best friend.
We love Fane.
Tesla's best friend? No, the dad's best friend.
Yeah, Vane.
Vane. Okay.
Yeah, or Vale. Sorry,
Vale and Fane.
Vale and Fane. We got it. Okay, let's talk about Yvonne. I have been on record that I am not a big fan of Yvonne. I'm still not like a huge fan of Yvonne, but he stepped up. Not only did he step up, but like he stepped up in such a like mature fucking way. There was like no bullshit here, and there was no like hurt feelings or like, you know, I'm not gonna help you because like you hurt me. There was none of that bullshit. It was like, you're alive. That's rad. This is the situation, and the situation, that's bad. So what are we gonna do about it?
Bigger picture takes priority over everything between it. And that even happens when you see that Lucas is when Vogel catches Lucas, and then he's like, oh, like, how did you survive the Wyvern fire? And they're making the connections that, he, kind of, I don't want to say siphons her powers. He just kind of also gets them too, because, that whole connection. But he goes, oh, I see you're hurt. You didn't know that he was still alive. And, she was like, connected with him also. And then when he said something else that threatened Elloren, Lucas had a moment of jealousy. He admitted it, of course. And then he realized, he goes, but my love for her trumps everything. And that's how I know my jealousy is so insignificant to what everything else is going on.
And just another like counterpart to that. So I love Lucas. I love Lucas so much. My love for Lucas is not dimmed by his alleged death here. not dimmed.
Fantasy. It's fantasy. I have to say alleged.
Yeah, it's not dimmed at all. But so Yvonne and Elloren are reunited in a dramatic way, and Elloren wastes no fucking time here. And before Elloren, early book Elloren would be wringing her hands about this, and it would be chapters and chapters of wringing her hands about this. This book Elloren is like, look, I love you, and I am so happy that you're alive. I am fasted and sealed fully to Lucas. Lucas has my priority and my love here. I'm gonna go get Lucas. I'm gonna go get him for a lot of reasons, but also like I'm choosing Lucas here.
It wasn't just like, oh, if I wasn't in the situation, like, no, like you said, she actively chose Lucas.
Yeah, she was like looking him in the face. Yeah, no, she was like, no, I fell in love with Lucas. He was there for me. I gave myself to him. I chose him. I'm going to go fucking save him. And I'm sorry that it is what it is. And I love that with Lucas. And I like that Lucas even says, like, when they're having their like moment, they're like, it's okay, Elloren. Like, everything is okay. I know that you chose me. And that is just really nice. It is just this really nice kind of acknowledgement that, like, I don't want to say it was the right thing because like, whatever.
Who's to say what the right thing is? And that's it.
Yeah. Who's to say? But it was like, it was a really good, like, decisive, and I'm going to say, like, out in the open thing. It's not like an Aelin surprise here.
It's a communication is consistent and not just like, we've talked this through with ACOFAE, where Nesta is internalizing her apologies, and Nesta is doing all this we know what she's thinking, but she never outwardly says anything. And here, not only are we getting everybody's inner dialogue, but they're sharing that also. And and that happens here with Elloren because it's not going on in chapters. And like you said, she is being decided. Elloren's gone through some shit in the last 4 books, so there is no time to waste. It's not just the communication is necessary because shit is happening. Like, this isn't just I don't feel like it. No, there's a reason to everything for everybody. Everybody's communicating. That's happening a lot here.
Yeah, everybody is communicating. No matter what. Like, no matter what, everybody is talking to each other, which is like a nice trope that's kind of like turned on its head. It's really great. Maybe everybody's talking a little too much, right? Like,
well, that's what they say. Well, there's a part where Tierney and Ormire, they're talking under the moon during the festival. And I like that there's a part where they're like, we're just going to put on the amulets. And if, maybe it is like a joke, maybe it's like this whole thing, like, okay, it's just like the vibe. Everyone's just exaggerating it. But if anything comes out, we'll just laugh it off and be like, oh, ha, 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 remember that time I wore a necklace and it made me say some stupid shit? Like, just kind of the communication is there. Maybe, like you said, too much. But let's just dismiss it and pretend I never said that, if that's the case.
Okay, so you brought up the Ishlon Purple Moon.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about it.
So it's this festival, and it's once a year, and it's just like a festival of love in the honor of the goddess Vo, and everybody's just like on a love high, which is sweet, and everybody's truthful, and this is the time where everyone's like, hey, if you're going to do something with someone, it's not just some casual thing. Like, this isn't a casual hookup day. If you're asking someone to be like your Valentine or something, which I don't like, maybe not Valentine, because that's a little bit loose, and
it's more serious, I think, than that. It's like a blessing to take someone on that night.
It's not it's not a casual thing. And you see it with everybody. Like, are you sure? Like, me, that's a big step. That means you are formally courting me to and of course in this world, like, courting means serious relationship. Like, it's going to go beyond just some kissing.
So the thing that I like about this book is that when you're reading it, you're just like, okay, what are all these dates? Like, whatever, and then you get closer and closer to the festival and you start to get like hours, and you're like, oh. So it was very like, it was very Majora's Mask for me. The Zelda game is like with the looming moon. It was very, very much that, for me. but very beautiful because purple is my favorite color.
When you're in the Islan moon, when you're getting like, there was a point where I was like, another couple story, which I was like, whoa, that never happens for me. I'd be like in this shit forever. I was already like, but then you see everyone's like 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
The people who, this is what I picked up on. The people who were getting the 9 o'clock hours, 9 p.m. Hours, I was like, oh, they're getting some. When I was seeing the 2200, when I was seeing the 10 p.m., I'm like, oh,
they're not getting any. No, it's like Jared, like they got theirs, some of them got theirs, but yeah. So I'm going somewhere with this, I promise. So the purple moon, everything is purple. Everything is purple. Everybody is hooking up. This is like the last kind of thing. So when you're in these chapters and you start to notice the time stamps, you start to notice the couples and you start to notice like when the mountain explodes and the purple is cut out and everything goes gray. I need it on screen. Jess, you and I were talking about this. We need HBO level everything on this and multiple seasons.
Yeah, it's not a movie. Like I wouldn't want this in Lord of the Rings format where it's in a movie. I don't want that. I don't want it in a movie format like Harry Potter. No, it needs to be. And we went through every single streaming service. Nothing can do this the way HBO needs to and can justify it. We need in that moment that you're talking about, it's like Wizard of Oz, or you're saying the opposite from like black and white to Technicolor. It's literally Technicolor to every, because you learn from the beginning of the book, he's draining any type of life of color. It is
absolutely horrifying. So that the moment that the mountaintop blows off, like everybody's in this love festival, like everybody, the defenses are down, the mountain blows off and those dragons come pouring out, and then the color is everything is gray, and the shadow and everything is there.
That's when it was gonna happen. Like as an experienced fantasy reader, like you're just
waiting. You're just
waiting. You're just it's going to happen. Is this it? Okay, it didn't happen. Is that you just know it's going to happen in Islan. It's going to happen at night. It's going to be when everybody's like, happy and getting some, and nobody's paying attention.
And it's just so. It is so intense too, because Elloren is having her moment with Lucas there, and and Lucas. That this is the moment where Lucas sacrifices himself, and he gets the wyvern fire, and his eyes glow, and he has this whole connection. So that is happening while everything else is happening too. But then as soon as Lucas touches Elloren is infected with the shadow. Like she starts to get corrupted from that moment on, and it is just so incredibly intense from the mountaintop exploding and the dragons coming out on. It's just this nonstop. I need to see it. I need to see it. It is better than Game of Thrones. It's better. It is better, and I want to see it. And that is, I could rant about it forever. I want to see Elloren turn with the shadow. How freaking cool. It's coming up from her. Oh my gosh. And then this whole scene with the prophecy, this prophecy scene, you got, what do we have in this situation? We have
where Lucas has already sacrificed himself, and now it's Vogel, Yvonne and her, where he's forced through his mind control. He's forcing her to rip his wings off.
Yeah. So right through his wings, and he but I can see it because he does the Cass Azrael land situation, right? Because then
those are the type of wings that I imagine. I feel
big dragon wings.
Yeah, because they talk about big dragon wings, but then I thought in this book they mentioned something with feathers, and maybe I'm imagining that, or I need to reread. But it threw me off. I was like, Winter has feathers, and I'm pretty sure Ariel has feathers. But I correct me if I'm wrong, fandom. I'm pretty sure Yvonne doesn't. Yvonne doesn't. I know that it's specified in the books, like the earlier books. But I don't know if maybe that they're like, I thought maybe they're, I know in the earlier books that it is dragon and he's wyvern and, wyvern bred or kin. So I knew that, but there was something that came, I can't remember. Maybe I just mixed everything. I don't know.
But he lands, right? And then I picture Elloren, like kind of, but being controlled and kind of like.
And then the things that he was making, like things were coming out of her mouth, like blasphemous, awful things that she was saying to Yvonne. And he's saying it, but it's coming out. It's just like, that it's not her.
He was like puppeting it through her.
Right.
But Yvonne knew it wasn't her. He was like, okay, what happened? Like, I know that, like, I know this. And
she couldn't, like, he found a way to kiss her again to like help her get the strength because at that point, her bond was broken from him and he needed to rebond it to like give her a little bit of oomph to help try to get her away from Vogel, if only for a moment.
And then who saves her? You sent me a picture of
Ariel fucking saved her because everybody, obviously, I was like, oh my God, she got caught. I can't believe he made the fall. I can't believe he did it.
Yeah.
I can't believe he made it. Holy shit, I didn't see that coming. And then she goes, I looked down and there was another dragon. Maybe it was Naga who was carrying, no, because Naga stayed back to fight. There was another dragon carrying Yvonne. She goes like, if Yvonne is there,
then who is this?
Who the hell?
It was like Black Witch. It was like Ariel. I was like, oh my God.
You didn't see that? Did you see that?
No, because it was explicitly stated that Naga was going to take her and like bury, like that was going to be like a thing. But like, oh my God, I was just so fucking stoked to see Ariel. Like, yes. She's such a great character.
And I appreciate how she gave Elloren shit. I do. Hey, remember that time? Maybe I should treat you the way you treat it. Like, I do appreciate that because even when like, that's just my personality. Because I think we've all done, we do it to each other too. Like, hey, remember that time that you treated, you were kind of a little bitch. I do like that. And even, the awful things even Vogel said to Ariel, saying like he was going to drug her, like get her addicted again
to the Nylanter berries.
Took her 5 years. I mean, okay, not 5 years. 5 years maybe to us because of the books. Like a month, or a couple, a few months really, in the books.
It's just, it was so good. It was so good. So then we have Ariel, and then there's another kind of like battle situation, and then we get this back half, like little section of the book where we get this massive plot drop about three the mighty tree. Holy shit, I was not expecting any of this. Any of this dryad stuff in this back half, I was not expecting at all, and it blew my fucking socks off.
I feel like when we go back to do the eventual reread, because this I'm absolutely going to have to reread when we get to the Battle of Erthia, I feel like we're going to see it more, especially when they talk about her lineage. And then obviously, in this book, they're like, you don't know your history. Well, no, because you all have been fucking hiding it.
Yeah, okay, let's talk about the history. So one of the big themes in this book, besides like tolerance and like acceptance and, unity and working together and communication, besides all these wonderful things, is balance. And it is kind of like mentioned over and over again how like Tristan has like an abnormal like kind of power, right? He's like level 5 water and like fire, and like Elloren, her power is not balanced and all this stuff. They say that kind of over and over and over again. So we get to this back end of the book, and Elloren meets the fucking source tree. And the source tree is like the tree that features in all of the major religions. And just you and I talked about this. As far as I understand it, this whole thing started because the dryads and the source tree made a decision to cut off the mages who are the descendants of dryads and Celts, because
essentially they're the kids of an interracial marriages.
Yeah, they didn't want them because they weren't like pure.
Pure.
So they cut them off from the roots because the lines that everybody says that they have are just roots that, connect them to the source tree and like nature pretty much. But nature cut them off. And because nature cut them off, they essentially went fucking evil. And now nature is trying through like Elloren because nature has transformed Elloren into a guardian, a dryad guardian.
After she sacrificed herself.
After she sacrificed herself.
That's my question that I have for future. Does that mean everybody will have to like throw themselves into peril against this? Like, is this going to be like a portal tree? You got to throw yourself in and then you'll come out better. I don't know. We don't know.
Yeah, we don't know. That's a good question.
But that's how it happened because she knew she had to sacrifice herself because the tree was calling to her and Vogel didn't want that. And the amount of times that I said, that's the part where I would have unalived myself in this book. I'm like, that's it. Okay, now this is the place. This is where it would have happened. Like, I thought that a lot. Like, I am not a strong person. I would have sacrificed myself a lot earlier than Elloren did.
Well, when she went running into the tree, I was like, what? But then it kind of like, it took, the way that I read it is that it took the tree portal, took Elloren to the same place that Viger's kiss took Tierney.
Yes, that's how I took it too. I mean,
Okay.
I made a couple notes in my book.
Yeah. Okay. So, and that place is like the primordial, like center of the world,
Right.
Core place. And Elloren like confessed everything to that place, and that place transformed her into a guardian and like pushed her back out.
I think the place also sent like just how Voth senses things with Tristan. Like I think it also sensed that she was telling the truth the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
The scene, I can't think of I'm trying to think visually. It gave me a lot of Fern Gully vibes.
Definitely, yeah.
With like you had this tree and she was entering it, and then you had the dryads carrying her. It's just, it felt very like she was okay. She was like, this is for the greater good. Everything's bigger than us. What has she been told? You'll lose everything precious to you, but you'll lose those things so others don't have to. So she was in full like, I don't care. I don't need to come back from this if everybody's going to be okay. And that's some Aelin shit.
It is. But then she does come back, and she comes back, Fae, elongated canines, elongated ears. She's totally green. And the fucking dryads are saying, no, you are not like racially pure, magically pure. Like,
You
no.
tricked them. You
ensorcelled. You ensorcelled the tree, and then you ensorcelled Yvonne, who came to save her. And it's like, what the hell?
This is like, here we are all over again.
Yeah.
Why doesn't anybody self-reflecting that this is why we're in this exact situation right now?
Yeah. And then we have the death fae being like, my mom was a primordial fae, and like she remembers, and she told me, and this is all bullshit, and this is the history. It was all, oh my God. I was not expecting that at all. So circling back to what I said earlier, Elloren's transformation into a dryad guardian, she's free of her fast lines, right? She's free of everything. And she says like she's sad to like lose her sealing marks to Lucas, like he's gone, like there is nothing there. But she now is like the true reflection of what mages could be, because they've been cut off from magic for like so long. So it is set up so that we have Vogel, who wants nothing but to purify her and take this.
But she is like, technically she is the purest form.
So exactly. So, and he wants to control this, right? He wants to purify her. And then, So if you go back, because I spent all fucking day rereading this book, and I still need to read it again. If you go back and read the prophecies, knowing what we know, the prophecies are about Vogel. Yeah, the prophecies are about Vogel. That it just is what it is. Let's talk about this fucking epilogue. Winter going down to the sublands. She's got the wand and she's gonna fucking blow the lid off of it.
Do you think that the way the wand is described, the Kestrel had it, carrying. At one point, it zaps out of its hand. So what we know because of the prequels, the wand calls to people until it can no longer be in the source's hands to get to the next one. Obviously, the wand, and this is the forest wand. We know this as the forest wand. I will be honest, I thought when we were initially reading prior to this book, honestly, when I was calling the Wand of Myth, I thought the wand that Elloren had this whole time was the Shadow Wand, and we were just calling it the Wand of Myth. Like people say, he who shall not be named as Voldemort. I thought it was just like another name for the wand. That is clarified that is not the case.
Not
here.
the case.
Not the case at all.
It's the forest heart.
Yeah, and it is living. It is a living wand. Now it's living because it's bright and green and all that stuff. So it drops it, and then it goes into the whirlpool, and then it goes up and it gets lost and stuck in the sublands. And I was like, oh, we know who's in the sublands right now. Mora Lee, Fionn, O'Lily. We have like a lot of people from the boat who were escaping Voy, and then now Winter. So my question is, was that an intentional drop, or does she just come in contact with it because, it feels faded?
Oh,
but
no,
the way it's described, it's like, oh, it got stuck. Like, what? There's no way you just get stuck.
Yeah, it doesn't get stuck. No, Winter's gonna blow the lid off that whole fucking thing because she's royal. Her and her brother are royal, Elfseeger elves, and so is River. So fuck all. Winter's gonna fuck it up, and I'm really excited for that. I really love Winter. I love that Winter.
River still as fabulous as he is,
flirting with everybody. I love that. They were like, "Can you not take every opportunity to flirt with her?" And he's like, "No."
Very he reminds me of Magnus.
He's very, very Magnus, where he's just flirting with everybody. We love it. We love River. We missed River. I'm so glad that River is still in it and doing what he's doing. And
I loved the character. I mean, I love all the characters, but I really love, we saw so much return. Return, it was serious, some return on investment with the prequels,
Yeah, it really was. Oh, I'm thinking now of a really heartbreaking moment that I want to bring up. I want to bring up Tristan, and I want to bring up Tristan on the water with the Krakens trying to help the refugees, and the refugees seeing him only as a Gardnerian and being completely terrified of him. And then Tristan surrendering himself, giving up. He gave up. He gave up to the river, and Voth goes to save him. And Tristan is just I can't, what else can I do? I'm trying, nobody accepts me. This is his lowest, right? Nobody accepts me. Everyone is afraid of me. I'm getting beaten. People are giving me blocked wands. Nobody trusts me. He's done, right? And
what else can I do?
What else can I do? So he finds religion, which I find really interesting, that he finds this ancient religion. He's just I didn't know that it could be like this. This isn't, and this goes back to what I was saying about themes. He's I didn't know that religion could be like this. All it is love. It's all it is love. And he's this is what I see now. And love is, and balance, and everything. But love is the big kind of bow on this whole thing, because without the love of working together, you're never going to defeat the prejudices of, that's what all of this is. But if you want to get really deep into it, but oh my gosh, this is so freaking good. Jess, I asked you earlier, what's your favorite scene?
I think I'm going to say right now my initial favorite scene, because this was the first part of the book, I think, that I got chills, is fucking Fallon and Damian Bain come into Amaz Quran and get the Amaz. And Velasquez there, and they're dragging the Amaz in the thing. And Queen Akia, she's like, let my people go, and you can have whatever. Like, you can have me. I love that the Amaz are protecting the Iqral children that they have in the net, so nobody knows that the Iqrals are there aside from Winter. And then Amaz goes, Freya, you are now the queen. And everybody's in shock. Everybody is in shock because they know she's in love with Clive, who we only meet very briefly in the beginning of this book. And even then she was like, if you love me, you will go east. So I know that you're safe. And that'll be, she goes, but I have to stay with my people. I have to do that. And now you see this payoff, knowing, which I'm sure like that'll shift into everybody's being accepted later on. But right now she's like,
bigger picture.
And everyone's like, this is a huge thing. She's the youngest person. And that's when the queen is recognizing, this is my number, like, she's my second in command. This is who I see leading our future for the Amaz. And full body, that was a moment that was just so powerful for me. It was also the moment where I was like, if I was Velasquez, I would have unalived myself. I would like easily, because what did they say? They go, bring her, make sure, don't do anything to her. Bring her to Vogel. She's a powerful sorceress. He'll want her. Fuck you all. You're not going to use me for shit.
Yeah.
Like, and I kept thinking about that, like even with Lucas, and he goes, he's connected in the dreams. You're connected to my fast lines. I go, unalive yourself. Now you can't see. Like, and I think of that. And this is like a weird thing. And I think it's just because I just finished reading Crescent City also the other day. If it was like you and I, and it was we were like best friend fasted or something, I thought, yeah, I'd unalive myself. I can't follow through, but Laura can do the damn thing. Feel like cut off my arm, unalive myself. Now you're not connected to Laura. What? She's going to come with you with a vengeance. She's going to pull some Maddie shit. You aren't ready, and you're not going to even be able to see. You're not going to see what's coming because she's going to be so filled with like rage that it's going to drive her that you're not even going to see it.
Rage.
Rage.
I do have rage. It's so fucking intense, isn't it? Like the whole thing with like the dome, and like kind of like the dome shatters and like they're coming in on dragons and they're landing and it's just like
this is like Infinity. That's what I was thinking. It was like Infinity War.
Yeah.
It was like Infinity.
And they're shooting like the ice. And
it was just a culmination of so many things. What were we saying? I said I was trying to figure out, like you were saying how it was very like the Two Towers. I was trying to figure out what this felt like to me. Because I go, it felt like how like Empire of Storms and Queen of Shadows is, where everybody's starting to come together, but it's not the battle yet that we see in, or the war that we see in Kingdom of Ash. And it's also very similar. It reminds me of Order of the Phoenix, where everybody's just like getting everything together, and you have their side plots, but the side plots are also driving the main plot, which we get the Battle of Hogwarts later. There's just so much going on, but everything that's going on is still an integral part of the story. And
little details are still really important. The little details that you really pick up when you have read everything. So, Jess, I was telling you one of my favorite parts is when Elloren has this like little breakdown before she goes and gets like taken by the dryads, and she sees the white birds. And she just starts screaming at these like invisible white birds. She's like, what are you doing? Why are you allowing this to happen? Like this, don't you see he's going to destroy the world? Like you're not helping anybody. Do something. And this is like I think maybe the third time in this book specifically that the white birds have been seen. Alaric saw them in the beginning, and I think they're seen one more time. But the white birds is just this really beautiful little detail that I love in these books. And Elloren just like screaming her frustrations at this like deity-esque type situation is really powerful. And I can just like see her like being so frustrated, right? She's like at the end of her rope and like she's lost everything over and over and over again. And it's just like, yeah, That it was really good. It's just another,
And she's going through I didn't, I didn't get to say bye to my brothers, to my new family, because the Lupine are her like not even her extended family. Like they are part, like everybody who's going through this, her new family that she's met from, from her Uncle Edwin's side. And you're just seeing like, it's like, and maybe it's because I just said Order of the Phoenix. She's in that moment where she's thinking, as Harry is like, but I just got Sirius back. I just got to see this whole other part of my family and life that I didn't think existed for me.
But now we know Elloren's she's gonna learn her like dryad magic. She's got her familiar, like Tierney comes in, giant ass fucking ravens.
And then there was like, not the nasty dryad, but the good dryad. He goes, hold on. What do you need from us? What do you need from, and she's like, I need to learn everything. What do you mean? What do I need? Because they were like, we've been doing this for thousands of years. You think you can just come in and act? She goes, well, how am I going to learn anything if you don't fucking teach me?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then she has that vision of like, everybody has the like
I say, not the palm, like the tree on the hand.
Yeah. The tree on the hand. Like everybody has to come together and like, like,
hold hands or something? No.
Well, no, but I imagine it's like symbolic, right? Everybody comes together under the uniting force of like balance in nature to restore, the world. Like that's going to be the damn thing. But I do really like here that like the Vogel is he's not losing, right? Like he's not losing this battle. These like build up skirmishes and stuff. He's not losing. Like he might have lost Elloren like now, but he is very fucking powerful.
I'm scared.
Yeah,
there's going to be more death and destruction before anything gets better.
Oh, no doubt, no question. He is so freaking gross and scary that I am so interested what he's going to do with Elloren. Like this new version of Elloren, like. How is he going to react to this?
Well, it's so, and we touched it like a little bit in this episode before. He's looking for the purest. She is the purest, and it's not in line what he believes to be pure. So where do you go from there?
Yeah. Yeah. Where do you go from there? Because you've built this whole empire on, yeah. Oh, I cannot wait for the next one. So Lori was saying, like Miss Lori Forrest, you were saying, when you finished this book, you immediately like jumped into the next one. And I was like, yo, this one isn't even out yet. Like, why are you like talking about this next one? So like now that I have read this, it's like, oh my God. Yeah, no, of course you're going to the next one. Like, yeah.
Give me the
next one now, please.
Well, who else has publicly done that? Caven. She finished her first book. She said on social media, and she's like, I'm just on a roll, so I'm going to keep writing. Like she's already on the second one. Amber's done the same thing. She's like, I'm already writing. Like they've all. I mean, when you find your flow, you find your flow. Like why stop
Don't fight it?
But when you've consumed the material so quickly, we're like, yeah, write the next one. Where's the next one?
I mean, it took you 3 years, but
it's so good. Like, we were so excited when we heard about the initial, like when we started reading the series last year. We were like, oh, September. And then September got moved to December. And we were like, whoa, it's still 2021. We're going to get it. And then it was moved again to like, I think February. And then it shifted officially to March 1st. And we were just like, we just didn't care. We were like,
gotta get it.
Yeah, another date, but sure, as long as we're getting it. That was the only concern. And now we're like, please, like how? This is to be a reader.
So obviously, if you've made it this far, you know that we're fans of the Black Witch Chronicles. I do kind of feel like maybe we're the only fans of the Black Witch Chronicles. I do feel that there is like a void, but
us and buttons and books.
Yeah. Shout out.
Woo!
Yeah, shout out. Honestly, amazing. But this series needs more love. It needs more love. More people love on this so that we get
fan art?
Merch and fan art. That's what we want. Yeah.
Yeah.
Merch,
also,
fan art.
If you know of fan art for this that we have yet to see, please send us in the DMs.
Yeah, because really, I know Lori's been really good about posting fan art. And, you know, she's really good about reposting other people as well. That's what I want. I want merchandise and fan art and just people to really love this and acknowledge that it is better than some of the other stuff that is out there and it deserves to be on screen. That's what I want.
Who do you talk to pitch this stuff?
How do you pitch it?
With certain entertainment studios, they have directors where this is their job, that they read books for the studio to see, and not just directors, it's different for everybody, to see if the studio, to like say, this is a really good book, I think we should, you know. And you know what's good about this is that this book, everyone's always so focused on franchises because it's easy money. You know, you start one, you keep going, and you have a built-in audience. This could be that. Because it's not a one-off. It's not a one-off.
It's not a one-off. There's so much here. You could even do like filler, you know, they could go on adventures.
Yeah, you could do, oh my God. Credit. Why? Okay. TM, copyright. This is our shit. Yes. You can do spin-offs with characters. I mean, look what they're doing. Look what they're doing with all like the unknown Star Wars characters.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
You have so much creative leverage. Oh my God.
There's so much. There's so much. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Final thoughts on this book, Jess?
I was going to ask you, I was just going to say, like, where do you think this is going? But like, we just have to wait.
It's going to be a big battle. I did not guess anything really that was going to happen in this book besides Yvonne and Lucas being alive. Besides that, like, I didn't guess anything that was going to happen in this book. So I'm not even going to try to speculate. There's going to be a battle.
Oh, is that it?
There will be a battle and people will fight and then unite, but I don't know how they'll get there. And it is very exciting. I'm very excited. I really like this book. And as I said, I cannot wait to take the time to listen to Julia Whelan's performance.
Yeah. I'm really looking forward to that. Yeah. I have nothing else to say. It's just a waiting game. This might be my favorite of the book so far.
Yeah, this one didn't end with me being like angry. This one ended with me like, let's fucking learn magic. That's how it ended.
I've had it has been on my mind the entire day. I could not focus at work. Like I did my job, but could not focus.
Yeah, so good, so fantastic. Black Witch Chronicles would recommend. Always.
So thanks for listening. If you've made it this far, feel free to follow us on Instagram, ACOFAE Podcast. We're also both on TikTok, ACOFAE Laura and ACOFAE Jessica. Thanks for joining, and we'll hear from y'all soon. Bye.
Bye.